Monday, everybody, and welcome back to the Couchside Judges. I'm Scott Fontana. Follow me on Twitter at Scott_Fontana.
And I'm Dan Urban. Follow me at the Dan Urban. Follow the podcast at Couchside Judges, and subscribe to us wherever you listen.
And if you like this show and all the other shows we've been doing, you got to give us that 5-star review.
As always, we talk judging in MMA, so head on over to abcboxing.com, read the scoring criteria.
I should do that one of these days. Read the scoring criteria.
Yeah, it's a good thing to read.
It's a good read.
Yeah, it is.
Oh, wait. How you doing, Dan?
Not good.
Not good?
No.
Why?
Well, the Yankees just got walked off. By the time you're listening to this, maybe I'll be happy, but as of current recording, I'm not happy.
Yeah, we're recording this in the hours following UFC Vegas as opposed to a day later, as we often do. We just had the little time to do it, but, Dan's a little sad.
Yeah, I can't dwell on that right now because I'll just be very grumpy.
That's true.
We should get onto this fight card.
That's true. You do get grumpy sometimes. Let's talk about something that will get you out of your grumps. Well, maybe not. Alexa Grasso got the win over Viviane Araujo. Unanimous decision. 249-46 in a 50-45. Closer fight, though, than I think the scores.
This is one of those fights. It can be a 50-45, which every single round is very close. Except probably round two. Round two probably wasn't that close.
I think round two, there was enough of a stamp put on it. Yeah.
So, but other than that, 50-45 where you're winning the rounds by a small margin.
Right. So this should have been scored a split decision, right?
Yeah, that's how it's supposed to work.
Yeah. So what should have happened is all the judges should have gotten together and been like, all right, one of us is going to score it the other way, but the other two are still going to score it for the winner.
That's definitely what they should have done.
That's how judging works. Don't look it up. That's just how it works. But I guess the question off of this is really there wasn't a whole lot of impact off of anything from this card. This was kind of just
this was just a card.
I mean, as they call it on co-main event, just some fights.
Just some fights, yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty much what it was. Except for this one, there was definitely some impact here because Grasso getting the win. It's it's a bigger spot. It was number 5 versus number 6 in the UFC's own rankings, and since most of the women ahead of her have already gotten their shot and failed to get the belt from Valentina Shevchenko, that does put Grasso in the position. So the question I ask you, sir, is: did Alexa Grasso earn the next title shot at 125 pounds?
I think it all depends on next week. If Fiorot goes out and beats Chikagian, I think she's next. If she loses, then I think you go Grasso. So
what if? Well, we can get to this later, but screw it. Let's do it now. What if Caitlin Chikagian goes out there in Abu Dhabi and just beats the brakes off of Manon Fiorot or Fiorot?
Then I guess that's a wrench that is thrown in. Maybe that's something I'm not even thinking of. Maybe if she just wins, maybe they think it's her to get the immediate shot there.
Because I guess the question is too: did Alexa Grasso impress you?
I thought she looked good.
So? Okay,
yeah, it did. What a good fight.
Okay, that is the relevant question too, because obviously a fight like this, which was closer than the score, but nonetheless still lopsided on the scores and a very clear win. I think on the whole, I think most of us come away from this fight thinking that she had the better performance overall too. So regardless of what the scores were, the right woman probably won.
Yeah, that's true.
So it's definitely a good win, and it's a good win over a good opponent. But yeah, I almost feel like there's probably more juice in the other one.
Possibly, yeah.
The one next week is
that one determined is basically the next title shot, I think.
Yeah. You need these two fights, one down, and then the other one will be the final determination. Right. Yeah. Well, that makes sense. Unfortunately, there would have been another very impactful fight, also at 125 pounds, but on the other side of the gender spectrum. But we lost it on Friday because Askar Askarov couldn't make the weight, wasn't about a catch weight, so they just didn't do the fight. That's
just so strange.
With Brandon Royval.
So strange. Why the guy who missed weight would be the one to turn down a catch weight?
The only thing I can assume is it was health related. Like he was unwell from the weight cut, and it was determined it might not be in his best interest to move forward. Period. It's like the only thing that makes any sense to me. But I don't know. I guess that remains to be seen as far as I understand it at current.
According to Brandon Royval, there was an offer to have this fight like a month down the road from now, and that was also turned down for Askarov. So according to Brandon Royval, he takes Askarov's ranking, and we'll be seeing Pantoja sometime soon.
At this point, I think that's probably a good matchup anyway. So why not?
Man, why not?
I believe they have met already, if I understand right.
But I do think Royval should have got his bonus for this fight.
You do,
anyway.
Huh?
Yeah.
Interesting. What would you call that if he got the bonus?
A Twitter spanking bonus.
What?
I thought he did good on Twitter.
I thought you were just gonna call it bonus for Royval.
Yeah, bonus for Royval for his Twitter spanking.
How do you feel about the nickname Raw Dog?
Does he come out to ODB?
I don't know.
I
don't know if he does.
I want to say he does, but yeah, he should.
I mean, yeah, if he does, it makes a lot of sense. Look, I wouldn't mind him rematching any of the guys he lost to in the UFC, either Pantoja or Moreno.
Listen, it's just going to be a fun fight. This kid comes to fight every single time. He has no idea how to, fight a paced fight. It's just balls to the wall the whole way.
Raw Dog. Yeah, I was disappointed in it, and honestly, it really sucked a lot of the interest out of this card. Look, this wasn't a very deep card to begin with, so for this to lose what I think was probably the people's main event did a lot of harm to the level of interest in this card for not just me, but I think a lot of people, which is unfortunate because there were some solid fights.
Yeah, there were.
And that's always the case. Like you're always gonna get good fights. Like you could watch the lowest level regional promotion, right?
Mm-hmm.
You still can get some fun fights out of it. That's not the problem.
The problem is to get you to turn it on to begin with.
Or to like care about the result in so much as like, hey, why do we want something to come out of this? Like if we're searching for greater meaning in the world,
Yeah.
And by that I mean something that have to do with like something that means something down the road for like, champions and that kind of thing, right?
Yeah.
There's not even there weren't even like big rivalries in this fun. There wasn't like heat with a lot of these fights either.
No, I mean you got Jonathan Martinez in his biggest competition shining.
Absolutely, for sure. And look, everyone likes Cub Swanson. Him and the main event were pretty much the only two reasons you could have gotten me caring if I didn't already cover the sport. And would it have been enough if I don't have to cover the sport? Gee, I don't know. I just don't know.
I did notice, and maybe it's been this way for a while, but I did notice that media has a nice setup in the Apex, it appears.
Do they? I wasn't paying that close attention, and I've never been, so.
Like Stadium Road, like Stadium Seating Rows, it appeared. It felt they had a good setup there. I don't know if it's always been like that, but this is the first I've noticed it.
I did catch Steve-O sitting in I believe he was in the media section.
Steve-O was my first concert.
Wait.
I saw Steve-O.
I'm confused now.
I call it a concert because the person that opened for him was an actual band.
Okay.
But then he just went on stage and did his jackass stunts.
So it's a performance.
It's a performance, yeah, but I mean, technically,
concert would be music.
Yeah, but it was music because the opening act was music, was an actual band. So I technically consider that my first concert.
Yeah, but
I was 16.
But what if someone goes out there and performs like a musical number or two before you go see, like a stand-up comedian? Which one did you see? A concert or did you see a stand-up show, like a comedy show?
I don't know. I guess it would be a stand-up.
Yeah.
I told you, I saw DJ Premier opened up for Tom Segura. So I kind of went.
Did you tell me that already? Because I didn't.
I did tell you that.
I've stricken it from my memory, and I'm now all of a sudden really psyched about it again.
It was pretty awesome. So I guess I got a little bit of a concert / stand-up.
All right. Yeah. I would call that more of a concert because I'm thinking
See?
more. Well, it's more about my preference of who I saw.
Okay.
It's like because I saw a DJ Premier concert, and then after that there was a comedian. That's just perspective, I guess, right? All right, enough of that though. We got to get back to this. We got 6 rounds to do, not too many. Wasn't a whole lot of fights. There was 11 fights, but largely not uneventful. But we'll get to it, right? Let's just get into it. We'll do the 2 rounds that we're actually going to be talking about in the main event, Grasso and Araujo. Rounds 3 and 4. They were majority for Grasso in each case, but one judge in each of the rounds was the out judge. So let's go over those rounds, sir. Starting with round 3. Yeah. What happens in round 3?
Round 3, they pretty much stand in front of each other and just slug it out. Very close round. I think the impact from Grasso is a bit higher. especially with the kicks to the head and to the legs. I think the final 15 seconds, Grasso lands a solid combo, and that's what really seals it for me in that last 15 seconds. Otherwise, it's quite close.
Yeah,
throughout that entire round.
I don't have a ton to add. It really, a lot of these rounds are kind of similar. Is the thing too? Like the way you described it was almost similar to the way you could describe any of round 1, 4, or 5, even.
Yeah,
in a lot of ways.
They just really
kind of the same exchange happens over and over and over.
A lot of is very similar.
And it wasn't. Let me ask you: were you enjoying the fight? Was it a good time?
I enjoyed it enough where I wasn't bored.
You weren't bored. I understand.
I wasn't booing, ready to throw a beer into the ring.
Was it? It feels like this was like the most middle of the road fight.
I guess you can
in a lot of ways.
It was an average fight.
It was like an entirely average fight.
Yeah.
It wasn't bad. It wasn't good. Like you definitely wouldn't call this a good fight. You definitely wouldn't call this like an awful fight. You probably wouldn't have started booing, but you'd be like, come on. Something really happened. Round 2 was like the only time anything happened.
Well, I think a lot of times when they landed with shots, I think there were shots that would make you say ooh while you're watching, coming from both sides. So in that respect, I think it was pretty decent. So.
All right, fair enough. But anyway, to get back to it, yeah, I also have round 3 for Grasso, the same as Mike Bell and Sal D'Amato. So Junichiro Kamijo is the lone judge who saw it for Araujo. We didn't go with that, but close, very close.
Mm-hmm.
I thought round 1 was super close too, but we didn't. That was not split.
It wasn't split.
Nope.
No.
We're only going to talk about the splits. So yeah, let's go to round 4.
Again, a really close round, and again, like we mentioned, they're standing in front of each other, slugging it out. Grasso's fighting really well off her back foot. She's countering, landed some big punches. Araujo's landed some big shots of her own, and she actually started mixing in some kicks this round. In round 3, she didn't really have much kicks or much of a diverse attack. It was mostly punching. I just think Grasso again landed a little better. It's a very close round, 10-9 Grasso.
I thought it was actually just in general impressive that Grasso was the better striker here, because I would have thought at the least if it was a very extended just kickboxing match or largely boxing too, the way it kind of was, I would have thought that would have favored pretty heavily Araujo, and that was not the case. So I'm definitely impressed with Grasso there.
Yeah, I think
in that respect.
Yeah, when Grasso landed, more noticeably, I thought her bigger lands were. I mean, a couple times Araujo was getting pressed back. She was the one pressing forward, but when she got hit, she would back up quite a bit.
Mm-hmm.
So that's really where I'm in for Grasso.
Yeah, I don't have much more to add. I'm also on Grasso for this round too, but it was judges Bell and Kamijo who were in the majority here. Judge D'Amato was the out judge, saw it for Araujo. Seems reasonable, but didn't go that way. And this was a fight too. And I observed this afterward too. I tweeted out about it. I said, a fight like this in particular with all these close rounds, I feel like it really, you just have to put a lot of trust in the judge's cage side in determining the impact off of these strikes, because it just doesn't come across as well on television.
Yeah, cage side perspective can be completely different.
And sure enough, they ended up seeing it. I had 50-45. Judge Bell had it 50-45. You had the same as me. So
50-45.
Yeah, we all had the same as Bell. So it felt good, but I was also thinking, and I think you kind of agreed, like realistically, if the cards came back and they said, "Oh, Viviane Araujo won," I'd been like, "Well, I didn't have that at all, but I get it."
Right, but I mean, even when they scored 249-46s, Araujo was like, "That could be me." For sure.
She certainly didn't think she was losing that fight.
Yeah,
though.
I mean, but she was also, her corner also told her she was definitely up too.
Yeah.
Which, why are we doing that?
It's, look, I can understand it to some degree, because I was thinking about this during the fight when I heard them saying that. It kind of caught my ear, and I was thinking, but in some ways it makes sense, right? Because you want to make sure your fighter is confident in what they're doing, and what she was doing wasn't not working. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah, I get what you're saying.
Like I'm double negativing here, but like she wasn't doing anything that couldn't work, but it just wasn't quite enough, especially in round 1. Round 2, obviously, that for them to tell her that she won that round 2 was probably not great, because she definitely lost the round, and it was. I thought she was having a good first part of the round too.
Yeah, she was on top.
I think she lost that round. We're talking about round 2 for some reason right now, right? That was my fault, but yeah,
she got the takedown. She was on top, but she didn't really do anything all that effective from there.
But even before that, I thought she was winning on the feet.
And then, but after they're back standing again, it's Grasso.
Of course, yeah. She absolutely takes it back. Like, you want to talk stealing the round? That's stealing the round.
Yeah,
100%. But yeah, it's not really a whole lot more to say about this fight, right?
No.
We talked about it. We'll probably never think about it again.
Yeah, Grasso might be fighting for a belt next.
She might. Who knows? But we probably still won't think about this fight. Let's go on to a split decision here, though. This obviously we're talking about a pivotal round that decided the winner, and it was round 1 in Mana Martinez against Brandon Davis. All 29-28s, and again, it's round 1. So what happened here?
Yeah, Martinez, he's throwing a lot of kicks to the leg, and they're landing. He's landing some good lefts. Davis is also landing some shots, definitely,
including a low shot.
He does get the low blow early, get it out of the way. Anyway, he's definitely putting a lot more into his strikes than Martinez is. And the ones he lands seem to be pretty stiff, but it's just he's not landing all that often. And I think he's definitely losing a little bit on the volume here. A little bit more from him, and I think there's a stronger case for him to win the round. But
he gave you more. He got an eye poking.
Oh, he did. No, he got eye poked.
Oh,
Davis got eye poked. Yeah,
that's right.
Yeah. So I mean, Martinez has the volume. He stings him with some good impactful shots, especially that one that Davis acknowledges. I think this is a 10-9 Martinez.
I think so too. It's very close though.
Yeah, and Davis has some solid leg kicks mixed in there. I think the problem was he was throwing one strike at a time, pretty much. And that
can work if you're landing with a lot of impact and it's getting through, right? But if it's not, maybe it doesn't look so good. Maybe it looks like you're not able to sustain your offense, and I don't know. Not as much effect coming off of it that
way. That big pause in between, it's tough.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. So, well, the first pause came pretty early, so there really wasn't that much. It was like 20 seconds in, but then that second one.
The second pause was like almost at dead halfway through the round. So, and it was a decently long pause.
Mm-hmm. No, I mean, a good judge who has much more experience than you or I, of course, knows they've been through this before. They have ways that they can try to keep it straight. But even at that, it's still a complication.
Yes,
right. It's not ideal, but I mean, nonetheless, we have the luxury of skipping ahead and doing all that stuff, and I don't think it changed anything. I think they ended up with the right man here, being Martinez, getting the round and the win, right? So it was Mike Bell once again and Tony Weeks who saw it for Martinez here. Judge Camijo had it for Davis. He gave Davis the fight as a result. Wouldn't have been crazy, but yeah, I think Martinez probably got the win.
Yeah. I
think I feel good about that one too. And next fight, though, we have 2 rounds, which is unfortunate because when you hear the scores, it's just 29-28 all around for Piera Rodriguez over Sam Hughes. Unanimous decision. But no, we have 2 rounds here, and what that always means in situations like this is one judge was split twice.
Yeah.
From their peers. So let's go over rounds 1 and 3. Start with the first.
Very close round. From my view, it seems that Hughes is landing harder, getting better reactions, getting the head to snap back on a couple of her shots. I don't really get that same thing when Rodriguez is landing. She's working the body well. Just not getting the reactions of effectiveness, I think that I'm looking for. She does get a takedown, lands a couple good shots as Hughes is getting up. I think that's probably her strongest offense throughout the round. Really close, but 10-9 Hughes for me.
No, I went the other way. I went for Rodriguez. I thought she did land some pretty decent shots in parts of the round, too. Maybe I'm just interpreting the action a little differently than you.
That's what I said. From my view, that's what I saw.
We had the same view. It's a TV screen, dude.
It's true, but I'm just saying things are different.
That's true. You're more mad about the day than me.
What is life?
Why don't we just? Why are we even here?
What's the meaning?
What is it?
What's the point of this?
What is the point? The point is to educate people who want to learn about judging.
I mean, how do you throw that pitch?
No, we're still on that. By the way, the New York Post's back headline for that Yankee game. Would you like to hear?
Why was he even in the game?
Do you want to hear the headline?
Yeah, go.
Oh, Schmidt. It was pretty good though.
You
got to give it. I didn't come up with that, but someone on my team came up with that. And it was
I want him off the ALCS roster when we win these next 2.
Oh, Schmidt.
All right, get back to the.
Anyway, back on this. So I split from you in that one. I went with the majority for Rodriguez. Judges Mike Bell and Sal D'Amato had it that way as well. You went with the outjudge Adelaide Bird on this one.
Yep.
For Hughes. I understand it. It's a close round. It's definitely a close round. And again, round 3, it's the same judges are split. This time it's Bird for Rodriguez, and the other 2, the majority judges, Bell and D'Amato, have it for Hughes. So how do we get at that point here, Dan, in round 3?
Yeah, I think Rodriguez definitely starts out pretty solid here, and it feels like she may be just cruising to put a stamp on this round. She has her best success in the first minute. In the clinch, she's landing solid knees to the body. But as the round goes on, Rodriguez starts slowing down, and Hughes is, continuing to land good shots, good combos. And it's really in the last minute. I think it's all Hughes here. She kind of takes over a little bit. Outside of one solid right hand from Rodriguez in pretty much this entire span, I think it's all Hughes. I think she does enough to take the round 10-9.
No, I went the other way again. I went for Rodriguez here. I guess I just weighed a little bit more, not just in the beginning. I just thought throughout she actually, and it was close, very, very close, mind you. But I did think she just edged it on the impact.
All right.
That's really what it comes down to.
So you agree with Ms. Bird?
This time I'm with Judge Bird here, and you're with the majority. So I don't think there's anything wrong with any score. The funny thing is, though, again, everybody ended up at 29-28. They got there in different methods, mind you. But you had 29-28 for Hughes, and I had 30-27 for Rodriguez.
Just one of those fights.
Just one of those fights.
Usually when you hear 29-28, I get very excited, and you hold your excitement back.
Because I know that there could be something like this.
Yeah.
Because it can happen.
It's like almost a relief. I'm like, yes.
I know, but that's the thing. I don't want you to get there. I want to save you from like the high and then the low. You gotta save yourself, sir.
And it's not because I don't want to talk about these rounds. I just don't want to.
You don't want to talk about these.
I just don't want to relive these. I mean, some of these fights are just like, eh.
No, I get it.
Why do I want to rewatch this?
No, yeah. I understand. But there are some rounds that we'd like to talk about, and there are some rounds that we talk about.
Yeah, I think this next round might be
we dutifully talk about, right?
This next round might be my most interesting round of the entire.
You always want to talk about an 8-9 split.
Yeah, I love them.
You're always fascinated by the pushing of the definition, or like trying to hammer down that 8, what an 8 is and what it isn't, and that is in this case in the Dushko Todorovic victory over Jordan Wright, got a second round TKO, punches and elbows, it really beat him up there. But he was the one who was absorbing a little punishment in round 1. It's actually Wright who got the victory. We just have to determine whether we think it was an 8 or a 9. So round 1, what do you think?
I mean, really slow start to this round. They're just kind of clinching each other.
Yeah, after a minute, I said to y'all, I'm like, I could see why we're talking about an 8-9 split here.
I mean, Wright takes him down and kind of just chills there but he's landing a shot here or there. Nothing too crazy, really. And then it's not until Todorovic starts attacking the legs where he leaves himself vulnerable, and it's Wright smashing him in the face. My problem is I struggle to find a second D. We for sure have good damage. I don't think it's enough to get to the 8 on its own. I struggle to find dominance and duration. Definitely a strong round. Definitely a different round, like we like to say. Mm-hmm. I just don't have a second D, so I'm on 10-9.
Yeah, I'm with the 10-9 too. But as I said to you, if you want to tell me this is an 8, fine. Mm-hmm. Fine. I'm okay with pushing it there. It doesn't seem to meet what we're typically looking for, what judges have typically looked for based on what we've observed, right? It does seem to be more in that 9 range. So I also, like you, gave the 9 to Wright. Same as judges Tony Weeks and Adelaide Bird. Chris Lee was our dissenting judge who gave the 8.
I mean, I get the point that Todorovic doesn't have much offense, but he is threatening the legs. Sure. Nothing's all that close, but I mean, it's still some offense there. Right. So I just needed a second D. I didn't have one.
Everyone has one D. Anyway. Very risque show here. Finishes here. We're done with our Browns. We're moving on to the finishes. 6 on the evening. 4 by TKO or KO. 2 by submission, and 3 of these fights ended in the first frame. Which of them was your favorite, sir?
Jonathan Martinez, inside leg kick, TKO over Cub Swanson.
Don't see a lot of them like that either. Yeah.
That was, you know what? When Cub Swanson got finished against Giga, it was like, oh, I got kicked in the body and my body shut off.
Yeah.
I got nothing. There's nothing I can do about this. Like, just seemed bummed out. Like, oh, all right. And then similar thing happened again. Here, he gets kicked in the leg. He rolls over and he's like, all right, I guess it's over. Like, I got my wits about me, but my leg stopped working, so it's over.
Man, how many times is he going to get knocked out without actually being like head knocked out,
right,
head trauma? Which, granted, if you're going to be knocked out in combat sports, get knocked out not to the head.
Yeah, I would.
So there's that.
Yeah, I got. Yeah, so I thought. I mean, great performance all around for him. So that's my favorite. Surprisingly, not a sub.
No, it wasn't. I kind of just expected you to pick a sub.
You?
I went with the opening fight of the evening, Pete Rodriguez, who turned Mike Jackson into one of the toys from Toy Story, where he just kind of just collapsed. Yeah. Whole body drop. And I can't take credit for that. That was not me. That was from Tev Talks MMA on Twitter. But when I saw it, I was like, yep, that's exactly what happened.
Andy's coming.
Yeah, exactly. Andy's coming to the room. Everybody dropped. That was what happened. He just was out. Poor Mike Jackson here, who
really strange career.
He's had the most bizarre career. We cannot rule out that this will get overturned either, and he will also get this not. This won't be a loss on his mark because he had lost the fight he won the fight against CM Punk.
Yes.
And that got overruled because of marijuana use.
So stupid.
Which is stupid.
But it's weird. I feel like the UFC had to keep him around for a situation like this. Like, they offered Pete Rodriguez a late replacement as a 4-0 prospect to fight Madalena. Got smoked. They felt, since he took it on short notice, we owe him one. Who can we actually put a 4-1 guy against? And they're like, oh, we still got Mike Jackson on the roster. Let's pair them up.
I wish nothing against Mike Jackson, but I don't understand why he was on the UFC roster still. Like, he must have signed some form of contract that specifically owed him a fight. That's the only thing that makes any sense, because otherwise, why don't you just get any random person who had been on Contender Series, whether they won or lost? Yeah. Just get somebody you know. I don't really understand it.
So now his MMA is 1-2-1.
He is 1-2 with a no contest.
Oh yeah,
that's the official.
Gotcha.
Yeah. But yeah, 93 seconds on that one, and at no point in those 93 seconds did Mike Jackson look like he even belonged in there. It was kind of sad, and I hope that is the end of the Mike Jackson experiment. No offense to Mike Jackson, it doesn't seem like it's working.
No.
So I think it's time to move on, and we're gonna move on from UFC Vegas 62. Boy, what an amazing number, 62.
What a great number. The only thing at this point that's making me happy at all about this team.
Speaking of judging.
Yes.
We're going to get back to I can't believe we went through the whole season without making that connection on air.
That's true.
That was a little disappointing.
I mean,
you should have wore your Couchside Judges shirt to a Yankee game.
I have.
You have?
Yeah, I have.
Nice.
Yeah.
So we got like 10 new listeners, right?
From
people who sat in your section, I assume.
I did not get any comments on that shirt. I got comments on my other shirt, which is Macho Man Randy Savage.
Well, I imagine that would get a lot of comments. So that's true. But ours probably deserves twice as much.
Yes, of course it does.
Yeah. But anyway, we're moving on. We're done with talking about the Vegas. So we're going on to Abu Dhabi, where UFC 280 will take place next Saturday in the afternoon on Eastern time.
Yes.
Which is nice.
Battle in college football.
Yeah, for your attention.
I would know.
I am solely focused.
No, I will be. This is the card I've been looking to for quite some time.
So it will get your primary focus.
It is the card of the year on paper.
Okay.
I hope it stays intact for the next 7 days.
One can only hope.
Or 6 days, 5 days, whatever day.
When you're listening to this, you, dear listener, are 5 days away, as long as you listen to it the day released.
Yeah. So I'm excited for this one. This is fantastic.
So I'll just really quick hit the title fights here, which is Charles Oliveira, who is not officially the champion, but is most definitely the champion and the number one fighter in the world at 155 pounds. Going against Islam Makhachev for the 155-pound title, and then Aljamain Sterling defending his belt for the second time against TJ Dillashaw. Now, those are the title fights, but you're obviously looking forward to other fights on this card. So, just give me really quick, which of the fights on the whole card are you most looking forward to? One fight.
Oh, Bilal Muhammad, Sean Brady.
You do like your Sean Brady action, right? CFFC is your whole deal.
That's gonna be fantastic.
You should just stop watching UFC and only follow CFFC.
I mean, I do watch it.
No. I want you to stop doing UFC.
You know what?
We're going to end this show so you can just be a CFFC guy.
The thing is, CFFC was just where the guys where we trained at fought.
No,
so I was there a lot. So
Ring of Combat
all these guys come
before
through.
it kind of, I mean, it's still around, but before it kind of faded from its, I guess, its former regional glory.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, they had some weird rules, like you get 4-round fights.
Oh, in CFFC?
Yeah, 2-round fights.
It's very strange. The
no, just Ring of Combat.
No, CFFC has 4-round title fights.
Oh, they do 4-round fights?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's also strange.
Yeah.
I don't know what the deal is there. That can't be a Jersey thing or a Pennsylvania thing. It just must be a weird thing they do.
Not sure exactly.
Around here, we just like even numbers, I guess. It's New Jersey, we love even numbers. We were the third state to sign the Declaration of Independence, but 3 is now an even number.
It must be something that the fighters agreed, because Shorty's never fought a 4-round title fight. He's fought quite a few title fights for CFFC. That's true. So
yeah, no, but like Jillian DeCourcy, when I was talking to her a few weeks ago, she had fought in a 4-round title fight, and she thought it was weird too, but that was just the way what she explained is that's just the way they do it.
She only needed 1 in this last one.
Yeah, but that was for a different organization.
Yeah. Bilal and Sean, I think it's going to be a grind them out, really gritty fight.
I'm still surprised you would pick that over, especially the title fight, Charles Oliveira and Islam Makhachev.
You told me the fights outside of those.
No, I meant all, like of any of the fights.
Of altogether?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
sorry.
No.
I'm sorry if I misunderstood.
Probably Aljo and TJ.
Oh, you are okay.
Sure. I'm big on that, but the main event
CFFC veteran there, by the way.
Yes. the main event is where it's at.
Yeah, absolutely. That's my pick too. But yeah, I mean, I like all of these fights as well. How much BS is it, by the way, that Charles Oliveira isn't recognized as the champ? Like, I get it.
I get it.
Dana
even said it.
Weight. Yeah, I know.
Dana even said it. It's just that's so stupid.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully everyone makes weight this time.
Oh my God, yeah.
Please.
I asked Charles Oliveira, and a lot of people I think have been asking him too. I think he's getting exacerbated by these questions. But I asked him, like, are you changing your approach in any way? And he's like, no. Like, the way he considers it is he says he maintains that he already made weight, so he doesn't need to change anything.
Okay.
But also, what if it happens again, guy? Maybe cut the extra quarter pound or something. You know?
I just don't understand the 1 pound allowance for non-title fights versus you have to be exactly on for a title fight.
Well, what I think is stupid is just the idea, like, and you agree with me here. I know you know where I'm going. The fact that once these guys weigh in, they might weigh 5-7 pounds apart anyway. It doesn't matter.
They're not fighting at 155. It's just so stupid.
I did ask Charles if he had any thoughts on, like, do you think that, like, everything works the way it is, or like maybe there could be changes, if he had any ideas, and he seemed to think that largely everything is fine.
The man's walking tigers.
Lions.
Lions. Yeah, he's weight is no concern of his.
I mean, I kind of feel bad for the lion because I don't think that lion wanted to be there.
Yeah, probably not. No,
but
he's like, this is the champ though. If the champ wants to hang out with me,
I guess
I won't eat him.
Yeah, mostly because I was given that tranquilizer earlier. Yeah,
that's that is sad.
It is a little sad. But anyway,
I know we tend to not make picks here.
You can make you do what you want. I'm not making any picks, but you can do it.
I think Charles Oliveira wins this fight. I think he has a lot of determination coming into this one. A lot of reasons to win, and that's where I'm going with it.
Yeah, I honestly don't think Islam Makhachev has any reasons to win, so that's why I don't think he'll win.
Okay.
No.
Yeah. If
I'm just busting balls. I'm just busting balls. I get what you're saying, but I don't know. It's a tough matchup. I'm genuinely curious how it's gonna. Lightweight's awesome, right? Lightweight's always awesome.
Great division.
It's just everything's so cool.
And another, Benil Dariush and Mateusz Gamrot.
And that Irish guy is not part of it right now, so which is really fun.
He's not part of anything. What?
I know.
He's
part of a movie.
Is he?
Yeah, he's gonna be in the Roadhouse remake.
Well, that's disappointing. I didn't know that.
Yeah, I think he's gonna be a bad guy or something like that.
Okay, well that makes sense. Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, it's kind of weird that they're remaking that movie.
It sure is, but before they were gonna remake it with Ronda Rousey, and then that didn't happen because she lost and everything changed with her career. But now I believe it is Jake Gyllenhaal in the Patrick Swayze role.
They've been waiting that long to find another fighter to replace Ronda Rousey, so they can make Roadhouse 2.
But Conor isn't replacing Ronda. He's just the bad guy, I think, or a bad guy.
Ronda losing really destroyed their plans. It took them 5 years, 6 years.
They were inconsolable after Holly Holm. They're like, I don't know what to do with myself. So they had to do a lot of soul searching. Be like, do we even need a remake to Roadhouse? And then everyone around them said, no, we don't. But they said, I'm not going to listen to you guys. I think we might need one. I'm going to keep going. I'm going to soldier on. Yeah.
So what do you think about the co-main?
Oh, I mean, it's a really terrific matchup. I mean, unfortunately, TJ Dillashaw has been stained because of his own actions. But, and Aljamain Sterling is at least publicly saying he is by no means convinced that TJ Dillashaw is clean right now.
Oh, is he?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. He is not shy about that.
Okay.
He says, oh, yeah, he's definitely on it now. He's entering with that mindset, saying, like, listen, I'm accepting this fight knowing that may happen. It's not an excuse. I'm just saying, like, I know what I'm walking into. I believe what I'm walking into. Anyway, if he is indeed clean, and I'm sure he is tested much more stringently than others, but he also probably must know that if he does it again, I mean, it's absolutely over. Like, he can't even have a clean juice restaurant anymore.
Yeah.
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 In all that context, if he can win this fight, though, what a redemptive arc.
I guess, yeah.
It really is. Like, we wouldn't have seen him for years. He's been injured. He's been suspended. You know, he's far removed from when he won the belt. He won the belt first time in, like, 2014. It's been a long time.
Yeah, Heenan Barrow. Right?
Heenan Barrow, yeah.
Yeah.
Heenan, not Bobby Heenan.
Yeah,
It ain't the brain.
Heenan Barrow.
But yeah, it was like 8 years ago, man.
Yeah.
That's a long time in this sport.
I guess so. I mean, he's still pretty young. So,
I mean, he's young in the sense that he's roughly our age.
Yeah.
I'm not young. My children are young. I'm getting old.
That's all right.
I'm getting gray, sir. I got some gray strands.
That happens.
That's true. That's a good
different.
point.
It's just a different color.
That's true. I'm definitely young now. Hello, fellow kids.
So anyway, I'm picking Aljamain Sterling to win this fight too.
Okay.
I think he gets to the wrestling early, and I think he subs TJ Dillashaw.
Well, I'll tell you what I think.
Yeah.
I think we're gonna have some really top-notch judges from around the world.
Sure.
Very likely will be a good influx of European judges. Hopefully, some American judges as well. It's always great when they have like a mix. I like that.
Yeah, that is it. When they all can get together.
Yeah.
Also, another fight we have not pointed out yet: Peter Yan versus Sean O'Malley.
Yeah, that's. I kind of have a way I'm leaning in the way I want this fight to go.
Well, here's the thing. I feel it's we milked Sean O'Malley, and you know we can't do it anymore. Here's the top of the list.
Yeah.
Like, sorry, we strung you along for so long, but you have to dive into the deep end right now.
How much chance do you give Sean O'Malley? Because you seem to be writing him off.
30%, maybe more than 35. I say 35% chance here.
Okay.
I mean, he does hit hard. He's pretty precise striker, so I think he'll have a sizable reach advantage.
He should. I mean, he should be a much larger man in there in several ways. But
I mean, we'll see. I mean, Peter Yan's fantastic. So
I do like that Beneil Dariush fight that you were mentioning against Mateusz Gamrot. That's a big one too. Winner, that's definitely going to be in the mix, as Dana likes to say, for the title.
It's in the mix.
We talked about Chookagian and Furo, and we talked about Muhammad and Brady. Was there anything else you wanted to highlight? I mean, there's a lot of good fights underneath those, but those are the definitive top 6.
Yeah, those are where we're at. I mean, the prelims are pretty good too, I think.
Sure.
We got Volkan Ozdemir and Nikita Krylov. Probably be a pretty decent fight.
I've been less interested in Volkan Ozdemir fights of late.
Muhammad Makaev.
Yeah.
Malcolm Gordon.
That's right. Flyweight.
That's flyweight.
Yeah.
Fight,
Yeah, I like that one. That's a good one.
Pretty good there.
That's a deep cut. That's early in the prelims, right?
I think 10 a.m. and we're just getting into it. Let's rock and roll.
It's 10 a.m.?
10 a.m. for prelims, yeah.
Oh, man. I'm still coaching soccer at that point. My kids don't play until like 10:15.
Hey.
So I'm going to have to be like directing them while I'm looking at my phone? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. If you
like, no, you're fine.
If you want to watch the prelims.
Knock them out. I'll just shout, knock them out. And then
let me paint a picture. When I played baseball,
all right.
We played fall. I played into fall league baseball.
Sure.
So it's during professional football season. Our first base coach was a huge Jets fan. He'd be wearing.
Sorry to hear that.
He'd be wearing headphones, listening to the game while coaching first base. A kid would strike out. The Jets would score a touchdown. He'd be going crazy cheering while he's listening to this. Meanwhile, this poor kid just struck out, and the coach is cheering. Don't be that guy.
I will not be that guy. I'm going to be. My kids will have my full attention, and then I'll catch the fights later. Because fortunately, all the better fights, not the better fights, but the ones I'm looking most forward to anyway, are late. It's like the whole main card plus the featured prelim. Those are like the 6 best fights. They actually did it. They structured it in a way that I think most fans would logically be like, yeah, those should be the last 6.
Yeah, there's really no big lead-in fight to try to get people to buy this pay-per-view.
Yeah, there is a Brady and
that is actually a I thought
that's
that
what
was,
I'm saying. That's the featured prelim.
Yeah, I actually thought that was a main card. Never mind. Scratch that thought.
Yeah, you don't know what you're talking about.
All right, yeah. That's weird.
Well, nonetheless, we are done with this episode. Thank you, everyone, for listening. We will be back next week to be talking about, all these rounds, right?
Yeah, hopefully the Yankees are playing in the ALCS by next week.
I most definitely do not want them playing in the LCS next week.
Oh.
My life gets easier if they're out.
Sorry, I hope it gets harder.
I don't.
Thanks for listening.
See you later.